once Aether kind of leaves, and Dainsleif, did you see that part where he's like sprinting to get into the portal, and he uses like his powers to get through the portal? He can actually go through their portals, and what's interesting is that he goes into the portal, delivering the eye of the field tiller directly to the abyss. Directly to the abyss and Aether.
Dude.
And
it's confirmed.
Hold on.
It's confirmed.
yes,
Dainsleif
it is
sus,
confirmed.
and the sus meter.
Dainsleif
The
is
sus
working with
meter.
Aether. That's how it is.
Yo,
That
you
is
said-
just...
Still live in you, still live in your promise pulled out. 雨が君に降り注ぐ。
Dude, y'all been spamming Beyblade fucking chat.
Yeah, 100 Beyblades. Yo, but
Yeah, dude,
Immican, do you wanna hear my epic Genshin theory?
Sure, dude.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna drop it on you. Okay, so you know how Dainsleif basically sought us out, you know? And he's
Yeah.
like telling us all this stuff. And he told us about the field tiller. You know how that field tiller is kind of important to the Abyss's plans, you know? So, okay. So, basically, he stumbles upon us right after we encounter the Abyss Herald, and he's like right outside the ruins, you know? He's like, "Oh, you were looking for the Abyss Herald too. What a coincidence." I wasn't sure that we would meet up this soon again. Yo, but he was like, I wasn't sure that we can meet up this soon, you know? And so that makes you kind of think that Dainsleif was tipped off that that we were there, and we were kind of investigating the statue, so he was like, "Oh gosh, I got to take care of the situation. Otherwise they'll find out too much about our plans." So basically my theory revolves around Dainsleif actually being like working with the Abyss and working with Aether in order to in order to like kind of manipulate us to go on this journey and stuff. Okay, so later on he's like, "Oh yeah, we've got to find this field tiller. Don't tell Mondstadt that I'm actually telling you to look for this item or about the statue, because he doesn't want them to know that there's actually one of these statues missing." And so Dainsleif basically tells us to go find that field tiller's eye, and the field tiller eye is actually going to be used by the Abyss for like manipulating the hydro tentacle monster that we fought in like update 1.1 with the end of the leeway quest. Yo.
Yes! Let's go! Rosaria! Let's go!
Yo, what happened? Yo, you got Rosario? Let's go.
Yo.
Let's go! Let's go! C1 Rosaria, baby! C1 Rosaria!
Yo,
Let's go!
let's go.
Let's go! That's it. Not really.
Go.
Let's go, dude! Halfway through Arctic's theory.
Halfway
I rolled
through
a
the theory,
Rosaria.
nice.
Yo, let's go.
Yo, but then,
Yes.
so then basically Dainsleif and us, we both find the first field tiller, you know? We get its eye. But that eye is actually very important to the Abyss, because they're going to use it to make the tentacle monster thing like a mechanoid kind of thing that they're going to use to like
Genshin
attack people,
Mechamaru.
that kind of stuff. And so Dainsleif is like, and so I think Paimon actually says like basically, shouldn't we take this back to like Mondstadt for safekeeping? And Dainsleif is like, no, I think that I should hold on to it. Kinda sus, Dainsleif.
That's kind of
You're like,
spicy.
yeah,
That's true.
and
that's
like I
kinda
mean,
spicy.
he presents himself as like fighting the Abyss and stuff. Also, we never actually see Dainsleif fighting the Abyss.
That's true.
When we're like when like we're fighting Andreas and that kind of stuff, we fight a few Abyss mages and that kind of stuff. And he goes off by himself, and his reason is that he doesn't want to talk to like Jean, but like, which makes sense because he doesn't want Mondstadt to know that he's there, because he's basically dripped out in Abyss aware, you know.
Dripped out in a
Yeah, like he really is. But
Yeah,
so
kinda is.
Dainsleif, he comes back and he's like, "Yo, I fought a few Abyss mages, you know." And he's said this before, like in he's said this before, like in his OG quest, with that first act, like when he was investigating like the Abyss campfires, like he said he took care of like the Abyss, or like he fought them, that kind of stuff, and then he noticed a few of the campfires. The campfires probably were just placed there in order to like kind of lead us down this path, I guess, of searching for the Abyss Herald a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna go too much into what I think they're actually trying to manipulate the Traveler with, but except that okay, so Dainsleif, I don't really think he actually has ever fought the Abyss. I think he's just like posing that he's their enemy, in order to like manipulate us, either for his own reasons or for Aether's reasons, which I think Aether theory is more likely, because Dainsleif says he lost his memories, he doesn't remember all this, but his traveling companion most likely was Aether.
Yeah, I think
Like
it
most
probably
likely,
is.
and so most likely they're working together, because Dainsleif, he also says that you shouldn't fight the gods and you shouldn't not fight the gods, I guess, for this. And so basically after we go back to the upside down statue of the Seven, and we fight the Abyss Mage and stuff, and Aether shows up, you know? He shows up and he's like, "Wow, something something." And then Dainsleif is kind of like, and then Aether basically tells us who Dainsleif is, and that he's like, "Oh, he's lying to you," but he doesn't tell you like the whole truth. Like, in order to get away with like a big lie of like that Aether and Dainsleif are working together, he basically makes it to where like Dainsleif is the liar, saying that like he's not telling the full truth about who he is to Lumine, I guess. But we're that
It could be the other way around.
yeah, but like with depending on who the traveler you chose. But so like basically that makes us more trusting of Dainsleif in a way, because we're like, oh, our sibling is like telling us this kind of, and Dainsleif is like, oh yeah, well, something or other. But so basically we fight the Abyss Herald, that was before, but once Aether kind of leaves, and Dainsleif, did you see that part where he's like sprinting to get into the portal, and he uses like his powers to get through the portal? He can actually go through their portals, and what's interesting is that he goes into the portal, delivering the eye of the field tiller directly to the Abyss, directly to the Abyss and Aether.
Dude.
And
That's
he,
it's confirmed.
Hold on.
It's confirmed.
yes,
Dainsleif
it is
sus,
confirmed.
and the sus meter.
Dainsleif is
Sus
working with
meter.
Aether. That's how it is.
Yo,
That
you
is
said you
just how
wanted
it
to
is.
join, BC, right? So
Ayo,
to
ayo,
join,
I'm gonna say the classic line.
to
But
join,
I'm
just
just so
join the Chill
serious.
Vibes BC on my Discord, and I'll.
Oh,
that
and
would
also
type.
the final kind of element to my theory is also that the Abyss is actually like Canria is actually, it was destroyed, I think. Like, it probably was destroyed, but I think Celestia is actually like a part of Canrea. And so yeah, and so I think because with the technology they probably could have made a floating island pretty easily. So I think Canrea is actually part of Celestia.